Just because that side engages in that kind of behavior and that kind of rhetoric and that kind of ha ha ha, we can joke about the bad things that happen to them, I don't think that makes it okay for us to turn around and do the same in the country.
No, I reject that. It's absolutely insane. We're supposed to jump up and feel sad that the guy who was one of the most divisive presidents in all of history got shot at? Whatever happens, happens. I don't give a f. At this point, my only regret is that the guy didn't spend enough time practicing first. Right.
Okay, one person is dead who isn't Trump, right, who got shot out. Someone in the crowd that was just going to a rally. I think it's okay to show a little empathy.
I'm sorry. I didn't know somebody else died. What state was this in?
Pennsylvania, my state.
Swing state voter. Sorry, what?
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Every statement of his, it had the level of presumption. I mean, on the basis of a Wikipedia entry? No, this is just completely off the wall. And I was determined I'm not going to legitimize him.
I understand the state of mind, but for genocide, there is dolo specialis is a highly special intent. Did you read the case? It is a highly special intent.
I'm going to ask you again.
Yes.
Please stop displaying your imbecility.
Okay, I'm sorry. You think the Declaration of the Judge is imbecility?
Don't put on public display that you're a moron. At least have the self-possession to shut up.
Him owning you hard in the debate is not just trolling just because he disagrees with you. The bias you have towards one side is obvious. Destiny live in a world of synths echoing, "You're the best man."
Destiny is constantly talking about how, well, actually, Donald Trump is the most divisive president ever, while Destiny is fueling that division within the country himself.
You keep bringing this up to me, like, well, Destiny, if you act like this, aren't conservatives going to do? And then you say a thing, but they've done this for 8 years.
Right, so the other side is horrendous. Therefore, I'm going to be even more horrendous.
If someone assassinated my husband, I would not be able to have the level of composure she had during that speech. I would be out for blood. I understand why she's angry and why she said the things that she said. Okay, you need to understand what being a human is, what it's like to actually lose someone that you love, that you chose to spend your life with.
He wanted to be able to walk out and tell his cult following he holds his own with the big guys, right? No, they have books, they have PhDs, but I'm a genius, so I could just walk in after 3 months on Wikipedia and put them in their place. I wasn't going to let him do that.
You're wrong, but that's not how it is.
How do you know? How do you know?
Because I know how ports work.
There you go.
That guy debates everybody.
Yeah, he's so ridiculous. He does a Wikipedia search and then just starts going after Dick. Yeah. It's just it was a fun time. It's a really fun time. Yeah, a fun time for watching people flail.
This is a roasting that's been long overdue. Now on the chopping block today, we have none other than Mick Foley's pre-com, a vertically challenged 120-pound, skinny, fat, pasty, blue-haired cuck who went from playing his video games to turning into a professional debater.
Along comes a guy who has this idea in his head that reading a half dozen Wikipedia entries for 3 months. I've been at this since 1982, since the war in Lebanon. 41 years, and you think I can handle somebody who read Wikipedia for 3 months?
Somehow, with his limited Wikipedia knowledge, Mick Foley's pre-com thought he could go on any debate stage.
What he's quoting correctly. You've lied about this particular instance in the past. Those kids weren't just on the beaches, as often stated in articles. Those kids were literally coming out of a previously identified Hamas compound that they had operated from. They literally did. You can Google it. You can Google it.
With all due respect, you're such a fantastic moron. It's terrifying.
But to be fair to this fantastic moron, he at times seemed reasonable.
If you're an American citizen in a public area, you have a legal and a moral right to be wherever the fuck you want to be. The people that were in the moral wrong were the rioters, and the people that were super morally wrong were the people that attacked Rittenhouse.
I super doubt whether Kyle Rittenhouse sole purpose was to protect his community because he loved to see that. He was a little bit right, had some right-wing inclinations already.
All the videos that came out before, it's like cleaning graffiti off of walls and picking up trash. And then in the riots, it was him walking around offering bottles of water to people. That's all he was doing. It wasn't walking around LARPing. He's like, I'm a police officer, I'm here to enforce, blah, blah. If all that footage exists, or if any of that footage exists, then I would be more amenable to be like, okay, yeah, you looked like he was going there to enforce some shit. But like, even the circumstances of him getting attacked was him running away while one file chased him and another guy shot a handgun into the air behind him. Every single action that I've seen from him doesn't show any aggression or anything whatsoever.
But those sensible takes are far and few between, since he's also the same guy who advocated for open marriages.
It's kind of like asking, it's kind of like if you've got like a close friend, but then you've got other friends, like, well, why is that one friend not enough? Yeah. Because in life, sometimes variety is fun. Sometimes I want to be with a girl that's Hispanic or Asian. Sometimes I want to be with somebody that is
marriage
something
is
that's
not
slightly
a friendship.
I didn't say marriage was a friendship, but marriage to me isn't just about my going in her vagina. There's a lot of aspects to my marriage that I share with my wife that's really unique to my wife that I don't share with other people. My is just not one of those things. But there are some things that are fun to explore sexually with other people that not everybody might like. There might be some people that are into certain things that like I'm not into that she gets another guy. There might be some girls that are into certain things that they're into that she's not into. Like, so being able to explore sexually with other people is just a fun thing. If you're both okay with it, then yeah.
Okay, so this value of fun, it's a very interesting one that's been brought up, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a chief value here in the discussion.
Sure.
And the question it begs in my mind is, God forbid this happens, will it be fun if this open relationship ends up causing things to fall apart down the line if one of you guys finds yourself in an entanglement, so to speak, with with somebody who you might find a deeper connection with than the other person? Like if that causes the relationship to fall apart, that probably wouldn't be very fun.
No, it would be horrible and it would be sad. But monogamous relationships have the same issue, right? How many times do you have like a man that falls in love with a coworker or a woman that falls in love with a friend that she spends too much time with? Like monogamous people have to put up a lot of boundaries in their relationships too because they worry about the same types of things, you know?
Do you guys both sleep with other people?
That's,
So in what way are you not a cuck? I heard that you got mad at me for calling you a cuck.
Well, I got mad at you for calling me a cuck because you didn't know anything about me and you were radiating more pick-me energy than I've ever seen in a girl in my entire life. So I thought it was really funny.
But how are you not a cuck is what I asked.
You know what a cuck is?
Yeah, what is a cuck to you, I guess?
You know, someone like Sneeko, someone who sits in a chair, someone who watches.
No, just
someone who watches their woman get by another man.
Yeah, I don't sit and watch my woman get by another man.
Someone who allows that.
Well, someone who allows it is just somebody in an open relationship.
Now, Zestiny could try to change the definition of what a cuck is, but he's definitely a cuck by definition. And speaking on allowing his wife to get her tonsils tickled with, he doesn't seem to be very truthful here, since there's evidence that he wasn't okay with it at all.
I think I'll also have to put some after.
Wait. I'm not okay with it.
Ew, you licked it. You licked somebody's face.
Wait. I'm not okay with it.
I'm not okay with it. She just licked his face.
That's okay.
You're getting cut.
He got cucked and tried to play it off like he was cool with it and didn't care.
You ever seen her dance?
They're all very different. No, you've never seen it. I haven't done it in years, that's the thing, so I'm very curious if I started. But like, I can understand, like if we dance, you would be able to like
lead you.
Like, yeah, exactly, really well, because I would probably figure out like the basic steps and I would figure out like how to do everything.
All right, let's find out.
No.
Okay. Mel time. Mel time. It's Mel time.
You got the 4. Okay. So we're just going salsa or you want?
There was no warning. We just went straight into Happy Thanksgiving to Destiny's wearing the butt on the screen.
7, 1, 5. Hey, she can really do it. She can really do it. No. That's fine. I can tell you were like a little bit scared, but you good. Yeah, you want to know how she knew what she was doing? She did this. That's how I knew, man. She started flexing her shoulders and then grabbed. I was like, oh, she's not playing.
I was getting the footage for his next video on the
I just want to know, do you think it's normal to have sex and walk outside, watch your wife get fucked? That's all I'm asking.
How do we know? I would anything think that's normal. Like, yeah, that's a statistical question. It's probably not very normal. What am I guess?
Literally not.
And you're okay with it. And you're like, you're defending that. Like, not only is it happening, but you know about it, you're okay with that. And you're defending the integrity of it. It's just sick and it's sordid and gross.
Oh my God, he let his wife dance with another man.
Said what? You want to slap her
neck? It sounded like he was grinding or something. Like, yo, chill, be easy.
I should have turned up the R&B.
And then the ultimate was a sex tape came out of him giving a guy a job.
Yo, you could put a lot of crazy music
I
on
should
that.
probably try that sometime, though, for real.
You know what's so funny about the way they try to defend it? Oh, we were just dancing. It's no big deal. You're right. It ain't no big deal if it was a regular schmegular chick that wasn't known to be f***ing and humping everybody in town. But that's not the case with Destiny's ex-wife now, is it? You could even see the look in his terrified face. That looked like some PTSD type shit going on right there. He got any flashbacks of when he was in the corner watching his girl get railed? Who knows? But what we do know is that that's the face of a man who don't look very comfortable with what's going on behind him.
I want to dick so bad.
His girl's the town bike. Everybody gets a ride. And for Abba to act like, oh yeah, I'm just dancing with her. Who knows what message she's getting in her head with that? You know what I'm saying? And if you're this guy's boy, Destiny's boy, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't even invite that energy to you, right? But maybe he's clueless. Maybe he can't read the room. I don't know what it is. But Abba, you're slick, buddy. You try to play it off like, yeah, I was not no big deal. Buddy, who knows what she took it as? Who knows how they took it as? Because you know what they're about. Come on now.
I mean, I am pretty extreme and intense as a person. So I guess. And some guys get scared because they think I'm pranking them or something. And I'm like, no, I just want to suck your d. And they're like, nope, nope. I'm like, okay, bye. Happens all the time.
She just want to suck guys. Her dancing with ABBA don't mean nothing. Who knows? Maybe she sucked his after the fact. But hey, just know that in her mind, she just want to suck. So no matter how Destiny and his ex-wife try to spin that whole, oh, we're just dancing. Well, just remember, all she want to do is suck dick. So even if she dancing with some random guy, remember, she probably want to suck his dick. And the guy next to him and the other guy, the whole goddamn room, probably she want to suck off. You get what I'm saying? This is the type of chick that belongs to the streets. So yes, that look of terror, that terrified look on Destiny's face is justified. Because he knows deep down what type of he got entangled with.
Destiny and Melina are sick, gross, and low character.
Melina openly lusting after you in front of Destiny, who listens uncomfortably as Zerk laughs. LMFAO.
Yeah, I saw that. That was gross. Did you guys see that clip? That whole scene is just disgusting, to be honest. But that situation they have is just so sordid and disturbing.
What are you doing to me, Mel?
I just cannot comprehend. And I was asking them about it, and maybe they thought that I was being rude, but I was sincerely asking how you do an open relationship. How could you be married to somebody? How could you have a significant other and they're out there having sex with other people? In a million years, I couldn't comprehend that. He just has very low character. That's just bad character.
What's going on with Destiny's wife? I don't know how these open relationship can do it.
I don't know. I guess they're having problems, but yeah, dude, it's weird. It's sick. It's really gross. Like I said, I don't know how anybody could do that without getting jealous and without being totally betrayed and offended.
It's not like I'm going to rely on my monogamy to keep her trapped in the house.
Also, I feel like it kind of helps, like, having an open relationship, too, because you actually get to, like, taste the things that you're interested in that might not be, like, a relationship, you know, like, you live with them or you want to have a future with them, right?
But is that sustainable?
Yeah, do you guys... Hold on, wait, don't we have the longest relationship at this table so far?
You do, but,
sure.
But, like, do you guys have a high degree of confidence that your marriage will last for decades?
I mean, I married her without a prenup, so I fucking hope so. Okay, or else this motherfucker's going to be...
Well, most of us know how that prediction turned out.
Because if I go out, Mel, this is for your safety. If I go out and we have a really bad time, I'm going to hold it against you. And I don't want to, but that's just how my brain is going to work, okay?
Then I'm going to hold it against you and be like, hey, my partner doesn't like to do anything
June
with me.
28th.
Why would I just, like, dump this loser and just go get someone else that enjoys doing fun shit, not League of Legends all day? You know, this would be fun for you as well, because if it did IRL, it would be really fun means for your community as well. So there's so many good things that we could do for this.
Wait. You're in the other room, right?
Yes.
Wait, can you move your arms back and forth for a second?
What?
Did you do it?
Yes.
All right, I didn't hear any shackles. If you want to get the fuck out, then fucking leave, okay? Nobody's keeping you here, all right?
Eventually, he ended up divorcing his wife because, surprise, she found a more submissive boy toy.
And this is the guy she left Destiny for. Listen, man, I've never used the term soy boy, bruh, but if the term soy boy would apply to anybody, bruh, it definitely applies to this dude right here, bruh. And what's even worse about it is Destiny would admit that Melina moved this dude into the apartment that Destiny was paying for.
Yeah, so basically, Melina reaches out to me. We have a call, and she basically tells me that I owe her for money for her apartment, and that if I want to do what's moral, because I made her leave the United States and pay to fly all of her shit back, that I should pay her like $100,000. And I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind. And the way that this conversation starts is, this is the funniest thing. Initially, she'd like sent this message through a mutual, and then I responded back, and I was like, oh no, like maybe Tim can get a job, and you guys can, work for this money, good luck. I was very passive aggressive. I admit that. I sent a really nasty message when she asked me for that. Just to be clear, it was like, hey, remember you told me you don't care about the money, you don't care about my help, you don't care about me doing taxes, you don't care about any of that shit. All you want is somebody to cuddle with you for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Well, there you go. Now you got it. Good luck. Figure it out. I'm sure you guys will. Power of love will, help you with your paperwork 100%. Okay, because that's the only thing that matters. Remember, it's the only thing that matters in life.
You know what your problem is, Steve?
No, you don't.
You don't exist.
You don't do.
You're Chat GPT.
You
don't know people.
You I do know people, bro. What are you talking about?
You've never been in a fight.
Kevin, you're a broke loser nobody who is I don't even know where the you live right now. Like,
you don't know people. You don't know the world. So everything you get is from online.
I know
so
plenty of people.
AI.
I know plenty of people that know you too, Gavin. I know so much about you from people that I know behind the scenes, Gavin. You're a piece of shit. You're a scumbag. Not the life that you have, apparently. I mean, I'm kind of happy to say that.
Yeah, I'm happily married with 3 kids
in
New York City.
I'm sure.
No one in the ass.
Yep.
And you can't predict my divorce like I predicted your divorce.
Yeah.
He got his ass cooked. He got cooked. He got cooked.
Yeah.
Are you surprised? I told everybody it's going to get cooked.
But no matter how many times the blue-haired baby batter guzzler gets cooked, he keeps on gallivanting around, pretending as if he's unbothered by the reality checks he keeps getting.
I do want to make a point about what you do, because I did see that you did a video and you were like taking the side of hoes, like you saw this Candace.
Did she say selfish bitch? I must have misheard.
It's a selfish should mention not marrying her. That's
Holy. Oh, I'm gonna get triggered. I feel like I might lose my mind this episode. I agree that these people can be cringe sometimes, but you're saying she's a narcissistic that men shouldn't marry? You're taking that so far.
It's a partnership. It's a bond. It's forever. But there's no difference between dating and marriage.
There is a difference. You just ignored it because you've got a dialogue tree and a narrative you want to push, and you're not going to engage with anything she's saying. She gave you a perfectly legitimate answer. It is a more permanent form of relationship. It's solidified by law. It's not something you just walk away from or break up from. It's a commitment, ideally for lifetime. She gave you a good answer. You just don't like to hear it because it was a good one, and you weren't expecting a random OnlyFans girl to give you one. And now you're surprised that a bunch of girls that you thought were just going to be titty bimbos are actually giving you a run for your money.
You're still talking.
Okay.
Some insecurity coming out of it. The women today are very low value.
I'm not bashing. Hold on. I'm not bashing. The women are low value, that they're going to have worse relationships and lives, and they're going to be unhappy. But I'm not bashing them.
Absolutely fascinating to see how someone's mind can be so warped. In the same way that I think it's fascinating.
It's fat, bro.
I've been respectful in listening to, your lifestyle.
No, you're not respectful. I'm actually
sitting down with hoes on the whatever podcast, and you
were being so rude to that lady that made the TikTok. Oh my God.
Okay. But the point is that you then went through
You called her a bitch.
You then went through this video and just tried to justify these lifestyles, right?
And look how things turned out for him. Being left by his second wife while his whole world is crashing around him, getting sued, demonetized, and even getting exposed for his literal baby batter guzzling behavior.
Destiny had all these leaks come out from Discord. And the guy's a freak. I mean, this guy is sick.
And somehow this sick fuck had the audacity to wag his filthy butt-plugging fingers at anybody.
What purpose are you trying to fulfill when you as a 35-year-old man see me sitting down with these young women trying to say, you don't need to do this, you don't have to do this for money, and you like attack it and try to be like, Candace is just a bitch, or like whatever, like she's blah, 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 she's just being a high school mean girl. It's like, no, I am trying to tell these women that they are worth more.
The twice divorced deadbeat dad, who is now getting sued by an old friend, is in no position to lecture anyone or give relationship advice. How did a guy who had to snatch up his number one fan's girl think he had any authority to speak on the subject?
Okay, can we...
And then we got super drunk.
We need to... No,
we're not
let
drunk.
me explain what happened.
He's like...
This one is drunk, and that guy is
No,
drunk.
it's not true. You're drunk.
So, right now, I'm babysitting these two guys.
2 hours later.
Do you think she's like really like... Look, you can just like do this.
Yeah, what's
Holy
that?
shit, I don't know. It's just like... She's very touchable.
Yeah, that's the way of putting it.
8:01 p.m.
All right, scooch.
Wait, can't you sit here? It's
No,
my
no, it's my stream. Today it's mine.
Okay, dude.
Give me your phone. Give me your phone, Steve.
Okay, well,
Hello, stream.
Oh, fuck that, man. Fuck you.
Got him. No, they closed the door to the bedroom. You know, guys, I'm gonna sleep on the couch with you. It's gonna be great.
Congratulations! Oh my God. Yeah, I'm sure it was great for him to hear his girl sucking off shrimp Destiny in the next room. Yeah, I'm sure that's a memory he'll never forget. How does this slithery, slimy snake go around lecturing to everyone about relationships?
When there's a huge age gap, when it's clearly, no offense, English second language, and when you're like trying to isolate somebody.
Destiny, do you understand how hypocritical it is for you to be talking about this? For you to be talking about how older men dating younger women is all about manipulation? Dude, you have a 10-year age gap between you and your girlfriend. And not like a, oh, I'm 40, she's 30 kind of age gap. You met her when you were a 30-year-old man and she was 20. When you started dating her, you were a 30-year-old man who would have had to sneak her into a bar or illegally buy her alcohol. Oh, and you want to talk about manipulation? Well, you tell me if this sounds like manipulation. You were a pretty popular streamer at the time. You were single and living in the US. A fan of yours from New Zealand invited you to come out and hang out with him. And this is where you met his 20-year-old girlfriend, Melina. Oh, and the best part is everything that happens after that, we all know exactly what happened because you streamed it live. Or more specifically, you let your fan act like he was in charge of your stream so he would be distracted with taking care of the stream while you were completely all over his absolutely shit-faced drunk girlfriend. Like, here's a picture from that stream. She's 20. By the way, the drinking age in New Zealand is 21. So you are a 30-year-old man who came to New Zealand and got an underage girl absolutely hammered drunk. And then you couldn't keep your hands off her the whole time. Then after a whole day of getting them absolutely drunk, you allowed him to take over your stream. You allowed him to take over your stream so you could go into his bedroom and his girlfriend. And he was just so happy to have so many people commenting on the stream he was in charge of. He just sat there while you did it. And then you want to talk about how it's real manipulating to isolate a girl from all her friends and family? How about when you took Melina from New Zealand to the US? You isolated her from everyone she's ever known. You isolated her from every member of her family. You took her to the other side of the planet and made her completely reliant on you. A 30-year-old man took a 20-year-old girl to the other side of the world, and you were all she knew. Now, you obviously weren't too good at manipulating her long-term because now she has like 30 boyfriends. But dude, you are literally doing some passport bro shit. Except instead of manipulating poor women with an American passport, you manipulated a 20-year-old girl with underage drinking and a chance at fame. Dude, that's not even passport bro. That's like Harvey Weinstein type of shit. And look, dude, I definitely agree that there should be a conversation about people in relationships manipulating each other. And maybe there should be a long talk about older men being able to manipulate younger women. But there is no way that you should be involved in that conversation. Everything you advocate against, you did. And the best part is you can't deny any of it because the live stream still exists online. We can all go watch you get an underage girl drunk and fuck her later that night. You did that. You streamed that. So what the are you talking about?
You're 30. How old are you? You're 35 years old.
Yep.
Okay, so what is that? What do I
do?
Like if you were 20
well, let's
and
say
you were
I'm a
saying this
millionaire,
stuff.
I travel the world, I get to research and talk about whatever I want, I get to talk to cool people like you and other people, I live in Miami in a high rise for $5,000 a month. I mean, I think my life is pretty okay. I mean, what do you...
But I'm saying like, what are you doing when you're trying to sell to people that you know, being a hoe is cool, smoking pot, saying
I don't necessarily think that being a hoe is cool.
Are you going to age out of that?
Would I try? Would I?
Because you're a 35-year-old man, right?
Like, you know,
and you're kind of doing the like, I'm a college dorm kid and I'm trying to make everything sound cool. But I just want to point out the fact that you're a 35-year-old man and your words should matter and they should have weight. Like I said, if you were 20, I'd be like, I get it. When you're 35. You know, say things with conviction. Say things that have
plenty
meaning.
Of things with conviction, yes.
You know, and
like when I asked you, what would you recommend to a woman at 25 and 30? I didn't just start rambling about what a 20-year-old should do and how biologically blah, 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 blah. I would say exactly what I would tell a woman at 25 or 30.
Yeah, I know, but your behavior, and I will appreciate that people that are younger won't understand what I'm saying until you hit 35, which is, I'm going to be 35 this year.
Okay.
You're acting like you're a college dorm kid. What you're doing as a 35-year-old man is you're lying. You're just lying to
Do you think
people.
I'm telling women on average that 20 guys
when
tonight
you
is a
make
good idea?
videos and you're replying to conservatives who are rightfully saying that this lifestyle is not good, which should be abundantly clear to every single person, yeah, what you're trying to do is lie in a clever way.
Isn't it crazy that he's in his 30s acting like a frat kid who's built like a boy going through puberty? Even his own flesh and blood can see the simp in his father's eyes.
I told you I was gonna hang out with you today unless you stream for 3 hours. You need to raise $3,000.
Chica or Bonnie
Okay?
needed to be
Go off your
inside.
ground.
Shut up! Someone's talking about Chica and Bonnie.
Be open. If Foxy was banging on the door, then it would be impossible for Bonnie to get in because Bonnie never appears in the West Hall if Foxy.
What are you saying?
You don't understand?
I didn't know what he said because an idiot right here, right there, is talking. And now...
Rio Flamel, $5.
I took a picture of you.
We got a
Wait,
number
hold on.
one victory.
Shut up! Someone got a number one victory
To get down.
This sucking cuck-holding degenerate was more concerned about his sexcapades than being a father to his one and only son.
Let's hear how he speaks about his own son, because he has a son from a previous marriage. And I know this is turning into a bit of a hit piece against his moral character, but I think we absolutely have the right to make value judgments on the moral character of others, especially when they've shown such disgusting behavior over the course of a few days. And I think you can look at the whole range of a person's behavior and say, I don't want anything to do with that. His son, Nathan, was born 11 years ago. I think he's 11 years old. And he was pro-life at the time because he was a conservative back then. And his girlfriend was like 19, so he decided that they were going to keep it. And now he's got a son who's 11 years old. Now he's pro-choice. And what that means, and he says this unapologetically, is that if he had the views then that he holds now, he would have, without second thought, aborted his son.
That's such an evil thing to say. I didn't know about this at all.
This wouldn't be a morally bad thing to do because, well, it wasn't really his son yet.
Yeah, I would have had an abortion if I would have been pro-choice parent, but I was super pro-life when my kid's mom was pregnant, so we had a conversation, and I can't have an abortion if I'm pro-life because then I feel like a hypocrite.
Do you feel
So
like
you were
if your son would hear this, that would affect him?
No, I tell it to him. What do you mean? It's
You told your 12-year-old son.
Yeah, I'm super frank. But
if
he
I
knows
was
me and his mom are
pro-choice, I
split
would've
up. It's
killed
not like we
you?
chose that arrangement, like we want to be split or whatever. But like I still love
How
my
do you
kid.
think that affects your child?
It
to
doesn't. He
tell
knows I
them,
love him. We hang out. We have fun. Like I talk to him. I love him. But like I'm not gonna
I
say
love you
lie
now,
to him
but I could have killed you, or if I would.
before he existed.
But he was in existence because he was alive.
Okay.
Oh, okay, is all this weeble wobble slack jaw cuck could muster.
Destiny, you abandoned your child to go play StarCraft in Miami. You left your kid back in Nebraska. Steve left his kid, and you talk about how red pillars are misogynist and have bad relationships. Where's your kid right now? Like, no, real talk. Like, I'm tired of you saying, like, oh, the smugness of being of thinking that you're morally better than us, that we can't have a good relationship, but you're the one who's actually made a woman a single mom. You are the only one who's made a girl a single mom. Get the out of here, bro. Talking about smug? That's smug to feel like you're better than anybody. Where's your kid?
Yeah. Destiny is so cooked.
Instead of being there for his one and only child, he'd rather worry about butt and secretly recording people he's having sex with. So it shouldn't have been a surprise for Destiny when his own flesh and blood grew up to despise him.
Hey, so you're a groiper, is that what you're saying?
I could be considered one.
Wow, this is big news. This is, I mean, good for the groiper movement. They caught a big fish, Destiny Bonnell. I mean, dude, you're like number 2 in charge to Nick right now. I mean that.
But Junior was a chip from the old block, using his own man's trolling tactics against him just to get the attention he's always craved. All he wanted was a father that cared, but the blue-haired, degenerate cuck couldn't provide that for him. What a sad tale. So sad, in fact, that even Destiny's arch nemesis, Nick Fuentes, couldn't bring himself to capitalize on this pathetic excuse of a father.
Look, he's 14 years old. And I'm not saying that to belittle him. He seems like a very intelligent young guy and seems very precocious. So I'm not belittling him. And when you're 14, I still believe you're a young man, but people should really be considerate and not treat it like a big spectacle. Him going out there and saying what he's saying, you know, there's clearly some family thing. He's griping about his mom, about his dad on his Twitter, on his Discord. His dad is like a famous leftist. Like there's a personal dimension to it as well. So you just got to wonder what is best for him as a young man. I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't think it's a good idea. It's not in his best interest. And I say that as someone, you know, I could bring him on my show and it would be very friendly. And yeah, everyone would get a big laugh at Destiny's expense. Ha, ha, ha. Destiny's kid's a groiper. He's on Nick Fuentes' show. Look at the screenshot. Would that go viral? Yes. Would that make me look cool and make Destiny look like an asshole? Yeah. But they wouldn't be right, and it's not good for him.
Now, say what you will about Nick Fuentes, but I doubt that if the shoe was on the other foot, Destiny would have been as merciful. And isn't it interesting that out of these two, the person who's banned from almost every platform is the guy who's merciful? And the guy who's allowed on almost every platform is the one who's advocating for the purge of those who disagree with him politically. It's funny that the keyboard warrior, out-of-shape, skinny, fat is so bloodthirsty when he's at the bottom of the food chain. And what the hell is he gonna do with his Bevo Lottie syndrome?
You know, Bevo Lottie got more head than he got body.
Sadly for these type of men, if you could even call them that, is that they lack any testosterone to speak of. But what did Mick Foley's expect? Especially with a dumbass name like Destiny.
I didn't know who Destiny was. And the idea that someone who has a real name would rename himself Destiny struck me as somewhere between 3 and 3.5 years of age in terms of maturity. But in any case,
never contributed anything outside of playing some video games.
Okay.
A guy plays video games.
You're out of line.
Twitch,
You're way out of line. You're way out of line. You're way out of line. Gavin.
He's contributed. Do something. Do something besides letting people f your wife. Do something.
And now it sickens me to sit back and see other people making the same mistake. You see, I gotta listen to my little boy every day of my life, say, Daddy.
How did you allow a guzzling whore to bamboozle you?
I actually feel bad for Destiny, because I'm gonna be honest, I've known this couple for a while, and I knew this was gonna happen. It was very obviously inevitable that this woman was gonna get a green card and then leave him. Because they got married, she cheated when they got married. She was with another guy, and then Destiny took her from the other guy. And I think she was engaged. So of course she's gonna do it again. How you meet a girl is how you leave a girl.
I mean, the guy is, he's just like a moron on a heroic scale.
I mean, I married her without a prenup, so I fucking hope so.
Dude.
Oh, it's so bad.
And he's telling people like, hey, open relationships are good. On the whatever podcast, all these podcasts for years. You need an open relationship. It's amazing. And then this happened.
Well, who could have seen it coming?
Who could have seen it coming?
Who could have seen it coming?
Literally, Stevie Wonder could have seen it coming.
Oh my God. Normally, whenever me and Melina would travel, we would usually only do cuck stuff for a single night, but because Nim, I guess she really wanted like somebody who was like Middle Eastern and had like a 15-inch dick or whatever, because it's like 4 times bigger than mine, I had to do it for 4 nights. So they would lock me in the corner of the room and just, I would be getting cucked over and over and over again. It's a brutal trip.
And how do you expect that to last for the next 5 years?
I mean, it's lasted for 4 years, which I think is longer than any relationship you've been in, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'm probably doing okay. That's fine.
She's also young. I'm 20.
What?
I'm 20.
Okay, and I'm 34.
And I don't have someone looking for a green card.
I'm in a poly relationship. The reason why I'm in a poly relationship is because I don't give a if my girlfriend goes and f***s another guy, because I know she's coming back to me at the end of the night. Because we love each other. Because I'm a cool person. I know that. If I'm not gonna gatekeep the out of who my girlfriend, you think I'm gonna chase you around?
Do you guys feel like you're going to be together into old age? Like, do you want to stay together?
I had the same passion.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
No, Destiny, you get pleasure out of watching your wife like bounce around. That's all I'm asking, bro.
I don't think I would necessarily get pleasure watching my partner get no.
And most of the women here prefer to have sex with one guy at a time, correct? Right? And preferably that guy will be providing you the security as well, correct?
Except her.
Okay.
I don't. I sleep around.
Okay.
With men and women.
And that's fine. And that's
Yeah,
fine.
I like being single.
But would you prefer to have one guy that sleep around with women, or do you not care? It could be men or women.
It could be anyone.
Okay.
You call me disgusting, Destiny, but you're the one that lets other guys bang your wife. I don't know how. Aren't the other guys the disgusting one?
I used to myself your dick. And they're like, nope, you're not. You're nope. I'm like, fine. Happens all the time.
What's that like? From a game theoretic simulation perspective, what went into that calculation? And like, how does that?
Like how that started, or?
Yeah, how did that start? Sure.
The only relationships I've ever done has been open relationships since I was like in high school, because I didn't really understand like why wouldn't you be able to like do other things with other people, but then just like have your main partner basically.
Go be mad at the guys that are banging your wife, not me for calling it out.
You sick sons of bitches! You ripped out my heart! You took everything I believed in and you flushed it down the damn toilet! You flushed my heart!
After his heart was ripped out his ass and flushed down the toilet, it looks like Mick Foley's pre went full retard. And you know what they say?
Never go full retard.
I hope there's a civil war, dude. I want to see Trump supporters getting shot in this country because you guys are crazy.
So yeah, a reasonable, level-headed liberal, the liberal that the right wing can talk to, not all like Vorsh or Hassan.
Disgusting, dysgenic freak.
I know.
The fantastic moron is getting all animated about people being crazy, not looking in the mirror and seeing the liberal lunatic he represents.
But here's my problem, Destiny, with your whole position on this, right? Is that you don't actually have anything inside you that you want the other side to have. You don't have any of the empathy. You don't have any sympathy. You don't care that someone tried to assassinate Donald Trump. You don't care that a young fireman with a family was killed in the process. You don't actually. You are not the person you want these other people to be. And all you do is play whataboutery with every question I give you. And I'm just startled.
It's not what about it. We're talking about Donald Trump. We're talking about the temperature of this country. But here's a question for the two panelists. What percentage of this event happening was due to Donald Trump's rhetoric? What do they think the answer to that question is?
What percentage could it be that the other side, as we've just heard from Dave Rubin, has spent 8 years calling Donald Trump the new Adolf Hitler, a person who was responsible for the murder of 12 million people, including 6 million Jewish people in a Holocaust? Last time I checked, Donald Trump hasn't murdered 12 million people.
But it doesn't matter what the records say. It's the era of my truth, not the truth. So when his political opposition face life and death situations, he trolls and makes jokes about it, as if the victims were asking for it. The recent death of Charlie Kirk only exposed the sick Destiny's always been.
Destiny, you've been quite active on social media since Charlie Kirk's death. When Erica Kirk posted Charlie's coffin, you responded, she tagged him, brackets, crying face emojis. In response to Alina Haber's tweet ordering people to fly their flags at half-mast in memory of Charlie, you posted on X buying flags and poles just to fly them fully erect. And you then posted yesterday, ending every conservative debate call out I'd do in 2026 with "Don't dodge, bro. That's not what Charlie would have wanted." Do you think that your response to the cold-blooded murder of Charlie Kirk has been appropriate.
Yes.
I don't know where this clown's mind is at when he says some of the craziest shit that he says, but then has the nerve to say, but Trump needs to tone it down. Like, who the hell are we kidding here? Just like him giving relationship advice was idiotic, his political takes are idiotic. Notice after his second wife left him, he don't speak on relationships anymore. That's exactly what he should do now. Shut the up and stick to playing his video games.
You have a great example here of the type of cancer I'm talking about. This is the same people who supported President Trump almost getting assassinated twice last year, Corey Capatore being assassinated
By
last year
conservatives.
in a situation. Again, see, just lies. That's all they do. They talk over. They don't even let you give a chance to speak. And something needs to be done, Piers. Something absolutely needs to be done. This ideology should be shamed, humiliated, driven from the public discourse. I mean, you've got people who have completely dissociated with humanity, who's completely lost all touch with reality.
Yeah, I mean, Anna...
What's Jack's answer to why can't the president say, we should all be less violent?
Right. Because you can't even condemn the cold-blooded execution of Charlie
Donald Trump
Kirk.
turns on Destiny
I don't think you're in the
YouTube,
position
and he
to
says,
demand
"I wonder what
anything from
Destiny's saying
anybody.
on YouTube. That's how I'm going to take my
You're
my
not in any
pointers, but
position
really?
to condemn anybody for anything. You won't
absolutely
condemn a
am, because he's the
cold-blooded
president
murder.
of the United States.
Even someone who's supposed to be on the same political aisle as Destiny couldn't stomach the vile shit that was coming out of his mouth.
Matt Walsh of the Daily Wire, the
we're
president
talking
of the
to a
United States
guy
calling
who
for
said
civil
he'd be
war.
okay with his own parents getting killed if they went to that Trump rally where that assassination
Yeah,
attempt
and we're talking
happened.
to a
There's
woman
no
who went
reasoning
on and
with
did
you,
the whole
Destiny.
conservative.
There's no reasoning with the deadbeat degenerate PDF junkie.
Hey,
you
how
asked me a
about
question,
take it
so I
easy
didn't
on
know
the
it was rhetorical.
Adderall? Take it easy on the Adderall, and let me answer the question that Pierce asked me.
Now that's a look of a lunatic who's never ever given up his vices. So I don't know why anyone was trying to convince this junkie about anything. He was already set in his ways.
Kirk's fans want revenge. What do we do? And
you know what's so interesting as a black man? One thing I noticed about Charlie Kirk's death, there wasn't rioting in the streets like it was after George Floyd. That's the one thing that I noticed.
Destiny, if you care so much about political violence in America, why don't you lead the way yourself without mentioning anybody else? Why don't you, Destiny, right now just outright condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk?
Because we've been doing that for a decade. One side can't turn down the temperature.
You can't do it. Destiny, frankly, if you can't bring yourself just to say the murder was horrific and should never have happened, it's a very simple sentence. It's just basic humanity. It really makes me despair for where everything is going, because it's indicative of the mindset of, I can't give an inch to my political opponents, therefore I lose my humanity. How can that be right?
Who knows when Destiny became unhinged? Perhaps he's always been this Columbine, Virginia Tech psychopath. But it seems ever since the baby batter guzzler was relieved of his cuckold duties, he's focused all his energy on being an annoying little bitch.
You say you don't want anybody killed, and yet you say, I don't think I have much sympathy about the attempt to chastise people celebrating it. People celebrating the near assassination of Donald Trump. If you can't find it in you to chastise people who do that, aren't you just as despicable as the people you've just spent the last 2 minutes haranguing?
Mind you, this was last year after the first assassination attempt on Trump. So you'd think that this guy would have changed his tune and maybe would have lowered the temperature like he likes to keep talking about. Well, you think he did that?
I got one question for you, and I want you to actually answer it. Are you glad Charlie Kirk is dead?
No, I don't think anybody in this country should be dying to political violence. It's insane. The past 5 years in this country has been crazy. But the reality is, until conservatives...
So then why did you say to your co-host that Trump deserved a bullet? Why did you tell him that? I think you are glad Kirk is dead. And all of your tweets seem to prove that. And you would have been happy if Trump was assassinated. You've made that very clear. So why not just be truthful for once in your fucking life and say the truth?
He should be honest once in his pathetic life. Or is he suffering from CTE? Either way, he's been getting away with his reckless mouth. Well, that is up until now, when he got his ass demonetized for it.
I feel like my YouTube is going to get permabanned soon, because I got like broad demonetized yesterday for that I didn't even cite a video. So, I don't know. I'll appeal it. We'll see what happens, but...
mean, oh no. I mean, no. 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 Oh no. Oh no. 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 That's terrible.
I mean, if Kimmel is getting canceled from ABC, I don't know.
How is this guy acting all confused as to why he got demonetized? If a guy like Nick Fuentes got demonetized and he hasn't even said half the shit this guy has been saying, I mean, how is he surprised? I don't understand. Like, yeah, Nick Fuentes is racist, but I don't ever recall him talking about, I want to purge the streets from these liberals. I want to get rid of these guys. Like, he's never said that. That's what this guy said. And he's shocked as to why he got demonetized. Like, give me a break.
You don't even know what you're talking about. They did the same thing on Facebook. No, okay. That was a major L for me. I didn't even think about that.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's the problem with this cuck. He don't think. He just runs his mouth at 1,000 miles per second. Getting all animated and sounding so sure of himself based on his Wikipedia findings. And that's the problem with this deadbeat degenerate. He's been running that weeble wobble slack jaw of his for a minute now. And side note, what the happened to his jaw? The way that jaw sways left and right like a goddamn bobblehead, you just know his jaw's been through the ringer.
The problem, Mr. Morelli, is you don't know the English language.
What would your position be on, if I were to ask you, is January 6th...
What the Are you okay?
What's your answer to that? Is January 6th...
Did you just go blah, 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 blah?
Yeah.
Who knows if he got CTE from all that skull he's endured. Because now, he's not hiding his sick fantasies.
Could you imagine watching Nunez's eyes pop out of his head when they hang him on TV? Nothing would make me happier. Oh my God, I would jerk off. So I would never need to browse porn again if I had a live video feed of Nunez being killed for crimes against his
says a lot about the man, that that's the first thing he thinks
arousing
of.
fucking thing I could ever imagine seeing in my entire life. Holy shit. I'm squeezing my hog to this. That worthless subhuman fucking piece of shit deserves to die for treason. Holy
You genuinely do hate conservatives, don't you?
Very much so. I've moved full on to like the political violence level, or the real violence level when it comes to conservative people. Yeah, I think they need to be like excised from my country. I think they are demonstrably evil people by any moral system that most people would use. And then I just hate them because they tend to destroy the outcomes related to this country, which is what I'm concerned with. Yeah, absolutely.
I love how this soy boy, emphasis on the boy, is puffing up his pasty concave chest, talking about removing anyone from his country. Who the hell does he think he's intimidating? God forbid came down to a civil war. Does he really believe an army of guys shaped like him have a chance? I mean, look at him. He's barely a man, talking with all this bravado behind a computer screen. But the irony of it all is that he really believes he's the good guy, not realizing he's worse than the people he criticizes.
I don't need to go and study biology to know that niggas are fucking stupid. I don't need a PhD in criminal background to just fucking commit more crime and do more drugs. Than I don't need a background in whatever to know that are unnatural. I don't need to get a biology degree to know that fucking are just weird as fucking don't belong. And
I hope there's a civil war, dude. I want to see Trump supporters getting shot in this country.
Yeah, that was crazy. That wasn't crazy.
That was crazy.
Trump, you agree with this nigga for that?
There's good people on both sides of this, and we need to get to the bottom of this.
We definitely need to get to the bottom of this and give these radical woke the help they need.
1 second, just give me a second. You fucking piece of shit, ugly, fat, orange.
I'm ready for the great cleansing, dude.
Cleansing?
The cleansing.
What cleansing?
When we genocide conservatives in this country.
Are you gonna be out in the streets with your Glock?
Maybe. I gotta go back to Nebraska and grab it.
I don't understand how a Columbine, Virginia Tech wannabe was going around telling anyone what's the right or wrong thing to do.
How many times as a liberal have you been on a show, not you in general, but like a liberal been on a show and you've been forced to disavow all of the BLM riots, disavow all of the violence and blah, blah, blah. And then you talk to conservatives about it. January 6th,
violence,
that was
that's
a false
good.
flag.
Yeah.
January 6th. Oh, like conservatives disavow January 6th?
Why does this cook always do this shit? Like, what about this guy? What about that guy? Why don't they do this about this? Why don't they do this about that? Like, what the hell does it matter? Let's go by what each person said. Like, in particular, Destiny himself, right? Him specifically, what the hell did he say? Oh, he said a bunch of crazy shit.
It, dude, the firefighter guy, Trump, people that support him. I just want you to know, okay? Just in case you're confused or it seems like I'm, you don't, whatever. If one of you were in the crowd and you're a conservative fan of mine and you end up, getting blown away or whatever I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter. I am, 100%.
I mean, I got to say, I just found that repulsive, Destiny.
Yeah, even when confronted with his own words, he wants to act like the other side is the side that's unhinged.
Here's what I think about what you did. You'd like to fire off, as you've done so far in this debate, about your fury at how disgusting Republicans are, how inhumane they are, how they never have any empathy, blah, 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 blah. And then you yourself actually are exactly the person that you're describing. You are inhuman. You are somebody who seems almost gleeful that a young firefighter with a family, with a wife and children, who he was protecting as he was shot dead, that he deserved what was coming to him because he went to a President Trump rally, a man who was President of the United States until recently for 4 years and maybe again. You sound almost gleeful, Destiny, and I'm sorry, that makes you, frankly, despicable.
If Destiny is the id of the left, this is pretty representative of the great biomass of leftists who do despise you and want you to be dead, and also have no values whatsoever to speak of.
Now the question is, how severe is that CTE this sucker got?
Are you going to acknowledge that you said totally fine? You didn't care. You just said right now you don't care.
Fine. You can look at all my
How
tweets.
is it now? Let me explain how
What
it's.
does that do with
I'm
misinformation?
going to explain how it's misinformation.
Okay.
Because don't you think that if you make claims like Donald Trump is un-American, Donald Trump doesn't like the Constitution, and then you have an assassin come, he tries to kill Donald J. Trump at a rally, another American dies. Aren't you spreading misinformation by saying to people, this is okay? Isn't that un-American?
I don't think I've ever said this is
Isn't
okay.
it
I've said
un-American?
over and over again that there shouldn't be any political violence in the United States. It's not good.
Wait, hold up a second. Did the cuck just lie on camera?
Never said this is okay. I've said over and over again that there shouldn't be any political violence in the United States. It's not good.
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
I hope there's a civil war, dude. I want to see Trump supporters getting shot in this country because you guys are crazy.
How do you go on shows claiming to have never said violence was okay, but there's countless videos of him advocating for it?
Maybe
Your rhetoric has led to assassination attempts, and one of the guys who died there, you don't even give a shit, and I've said this multiple times. And at the same time, you're like, oh, I love America. What kind of bullshit is this, Destiny?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's
when you guys start
unbelievable.
taking accountability for some of the crazy things that you say, come and talk to me, okay? Come and talk to me.
Now that's rich coming from a guy who openly admitted to strangling his first ex-wife.
Of course! Dude, I wish I would have filmed my shit with Rachel. I wouldn't have any fans today because you guys would probably think I'm a abuser too. Guaranteed. Because you better believe I had to choke her out a few times. That shit got crazy. Hell yeah, it did. And I guarantee you that everybody here would probably think I'm a crazy physical abuser too, sure.
How many clips of Dick Breath being unhinged need to be exposed for this clown to finally humble himself?
Here's what I think we're all struck by. Your position seems to be that anyone from Donald Trump to his supporters who represents their thinking, their ideology, their political views, that if they are killed by an assassin at a rally, then they deserve what's coming to them. And in your words, fuck them. I mean, do you not understand that to most decent Americans and to decent people around the world, that is incredibly offensive and makes you look like a two-faced hypocrite, somebody who wants the other side to behave to a certain level of decency, but is himself incapable of displaying it.
The conservatives don't have it in them to have that level of decency.
So why don't you rise to a higher bar?
He's all about Sodom and Gomorrah. He wants to promote debauchery while trying to be the arbiter of morals. It's quite hilarious. Like, stick to your video games, bitch. But some way, somehow, he became a person people should listen to for relationship and political advice.
You don't like attacks on democracy, so presumably you would unreservedly condemn the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, because that's one of the most egregious attacks on American democracy of modern times. Presumably,
I don't think that
you will
anybody
take
should
this
be trying
opportunity,
to-
given you
Yeah, I
are
don't
so
think anybody-
determined to protect the integrity of democracy, you would find it absolutely outrageous that someone has tried to assassinate a president, right?
If the other conservatives on this show want to say that it was absolutely outrageous
No, I'm
that Donald
asking
Trump
you.
attempted to coup the government,
I'm asking
then,
you.
then maybe I would. Yeah, no, I'm not going to get on my knees and beg for forgiveness or show
I'm
sympathy
not
to
asking you
conservatives.
to.
that
I'm
have
not
none.
asking for that. I'm asking you to condemn what happened as an egregious attack on democracy. Can you do that?
No, I won't. No, I won't. I won't.
You can't do that. You see,
Not
so
even
why
close.
the hell,
Absolutely
frankly,
not.
Destiny?
Absolutely not.
Why the
Absolutely
hell
not.
should we listen to
Absolutely
a
not.
word you have to say?
Exactly. Why should anyone listen to what a domestic abusing, deadbeat, misinformed degenerate like himself has to say?
3 months ago, he boasted about the fact that he could find Israel on the map. He thought that Erdogan was the prime minister of Israel. And he says, he's telling his viewers, believe me, I've never seen that program, never will. But people are emailing me, Finkelstein, be careful, he's going to destroy you. Finkelstein, he's really ready now for you. I'm thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? If you don't know what you're talking about, at least have the humility. You talk about
how close
chapter
has
6.
242
You
gotten?
don't know
How
chapter
close
6.
has 242
You don't
gotten
know
to the
chapter
Palestinians'
6
peace?
from tweet 5. When you work very hard at something, invest the whole of your entire adult life, and then somebody comes along and says, I studied this topic for 3 months, and then says, I'm going to expose Finkelstein as a fraud.
Ain't karma a bitch? Cause Destiny only ended up exposing himself. This baby batter guzzling freak was going around sharing videos of his sexcapades. And now he's getting sued by the victim. But instead of owning up to his degenerate behavior, he thought he could convince the audience that he was the victim in this whole situation.
So there's been like 3 phases of me basically not being able to chat about any of this. So the first phase was, obviously, I don't want to publicize the leaks because, and I don't give a what anybody says in this, I am a victim in this, unarguably the largest victim. I was the target of this, and I've been the one the most horribly impacted. So
yeah, the guy that was sharing the video footage to all types of strangers on the internet, yeah, that guy's the victim.
Really?
Bitch, are you retarded? He must be if he really believes he's a victim here. It wasn't his account that got hacked. No. It was the random stranger he was sending the videos to. That was the only way the hacker was able to get the footage. Now that's what you call a fantastic moron.
He's the kind of guy who thinks after 3 years, he mastered chopsticks. Okay? He mastered chopsticks after 3 years, and now he's ready for the Tchaikovsky competition. I mean, it's just breathtaking. I very much doubt he's ever read a book in his adult life. I don't. He has this weird code. It's, people, young men who live in their parents' or grandparents' basement, and they shovel between video games and Pornhub, and in between they listen to Destiny.
You'd think that what he's been exposed for thus far would be bad enough. But oh boy, just check out this next clip.
As time went on, Destiny started having more and more unhinged takes on sensitive topics, like defending the distribution of CP based on his extremely flawed logic.
Men that are given access to child pornography have a higher chance of not actually committing pedophilia actions in real life, and I would argue that that would be a moral good, that if you can prevent people from acting on those urges, that's something that should be explored.
This quickly turned him into one of the most controversial streamers on the internet. However, these outlandish statements also allowed him to build a cult-like loyal fan base. The only guy who can literally get away with whatever he wants because his fans brigade internet spaces until the narrative is so diluted that people forget what a piece of shit hack fraud he is. With a fan base willing to defend him at all costs, Destiny had no incentive to hold back, leading to a long list of controversies that only grew worse over time.
If you just because you molest a child doesn't make you a pedophile. That's not.
Claiming that an adult s***ing a minor is not grooming.
Let's say there's a person that's like 30 years old and tries to like randomly sext like 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds. That wouldn't be, I don't think that would be considered grooming.
And even debating the quote benefits of CP.
Apparently, men that are given access to child pornography have a higher chance of not actually committing pedophilia actions in real life, and I would argue that that would be a moral good.
And again, like some of it I guess sounds uncomfortable to some people, but like if you're being real, like a 21-year-old, 22-year-old, like there are some 15, 16-year-old chicks that like look pretty f***ing hot. Like I can't help that. Like
what the hell does he mean he can't help it? And if you thought 15 was as young as he'd go, well, here's another clip to shed more light into how sick this degenerate really is.
You were hot at 10? Any pics? She actually sent him the pictures. And after taking a good look at them, Destiny replied with one of the most unbelievably disgusting statements he could, reading, "Jesus, I've never wanted to bend someone over the hood of their little tyke so bad."
When you saw a 15-year-old girl you were sexually attracted to. But no, you said she sent me pictures that made it so hard. So when you saw a 15-year-old girl you were sexually attracted to her.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, what do you want me to say? Like, there are 16-year-old chicks that are really hot. I was like 23 or 24 at the time. Like,
so
yeah,
you were an
I'm
adult.
not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you like
you were an adult at the time.
I have never. Yeah, of course. But I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you.
And this is the guy who wants to lecture everybody on what's right and wrong. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. So we got a deadbeat PDF degenerate blue-haired cuck who's been pretending to be this righteous paragon, talking about lowering the temperature, while all the while plotting murders of his own.
Oh, I did troll the shit out of the DDoS kid. That's a guy, that's one of the people, like, legitimately, like, I was so, you have no, like, it's actually kind of scary, like, how close I was to getting people together to go down to his house and kill him and his family. Or it would have just been him and his father. Because I didn't know anything about it. Dude, that was some of the most shit in my entire life. I was so close to doing it. But I was making so much money on Twitch, and I don't know if Nathan was involved in yet, but for whatever reason, I decided that the current life I had wasn't worth the risk of close to doing it. But I was making so much money on Twitch, and I don't know if Nathan was involved in yet, but for whatever reason, I decided that the current life I had wasn't worth the risk of. Oh my god! I was so close to this address. I had streets mapped out and you have no idea. That's when I first started getting an interest in like owning a weapon. I got a permit to own a gun and everything. Holy
It's wild to me that while all this going down with him, he was and still is trying to be this master debater.
You have no idea what you're talking about. It's just so embarrassing. At least have some humility. Between us, we've read maybe 10,000 books on the topic, and you've read 2 Wikipedia entries, and you start talking about Chapter 6. Do you know what Chapter 7 is?
Answer me.
Do you know what Chapter 7 is?
Answer me question.
Maybe he'll open up a book one day instead of going on this clout-chasing mission. Because every time he goes toe-to-toe with someone who's actually researched what they're talking about, it always exposes this so-called master debater.
I find it ironic as you're talking about the 10,000 pages that you've gone through at January 6th. Apparently you never got around to that Colorado court case that you like to cite all the time that says
Rob,
is an example
you realize
of
that I originally told you that they use a 3-point test, and that when we went and read it, they used the 3-point test. I literally summarized it. And Rob, you know that, by the way, you hadn't read that case before, because after you read those 3 points, you thought you had a gotcha, and you said, oh, and it kind of looks like they're not even using your test. Like you completely forgot that I had said multiple times at the beginning of our conversation, I think the Colorado court uses a 3-point test. Do you remember any of this happening at all?
Yes, I remember remember, and I remember specifically saying, as you said that and before that, that this is exactly what they did. My entire argument, and I've had this debate with Pisco before, was I was shocked because I'm interested in the obvious double standard of how these things are applied, that the Colorado court case refused to determine what insurrection was because they knew if they used like such as the definitions that they were using previously from the 1860s, that Black Lives Matter would have met that definition of insurrections many times over.
No, that's not true.
That is true.
You just don't know.
That
you don't
is
understand
true.
anything about what these courts do. The court is supposed to decide, ideally, the case before it. And the court isn't generally supposed to venture beyond the case before it. So when a definition of something like insurrection, okay, is offered to talk about a particular event, the court generally isn't expected to step outside of the bounds of deciding that case. So you trying to say that the Colorado Supreme Court saying that, well, in order to decide this case, they don't have to decide exactly what an all-encompassing definition of insurrection is, proves that there is no definition. It shows you don't understand what you read, because they said just for purposes of deciding this case, and you don't understand what the function of a court is. Which
Again,
isn't to
I
give
do
definitions
understand. I
for
do
the entirety
understand
of everything.
I do understand the function of court. I also understand the interest of spurging out when you know you're getting blown the out in a debate, which you're prone to do. So what I'm saying is, yes, I understand that this selective court, much like many of the courts that have engaged in selective lawfare that we've seen over the years, it is true that in theory they're only supposed to decide the case in front of them. I knew that this was a convenient way. The fact that the Colorado court, nor any court in this country, declared any of the actions of Black Lives Matter, Antifa, etc. as insurrections was very interesting. And I knew the fact that they were unwilling, even when they're citing definitions of insurrections, to just say, yeah, shit, this is the definition we're going with, that it would be used by people like you to say, well, technically they didn't even decide what insurrection was, so, you can't really then go back and say that Black Lives Matter is an insurrection. I understand that the court was not there to determine whether or not Black Lives Matter was an insurrection. I found it very convenient that they cited several definitions that would have meant that it was clear that Black Lives Matter were over and over again
What does
insurrections.
this have to do with Black Lives Matter? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
The court didn't have anything before it about BLM. Are you implying that the reason why the court didn't give a more narrow definition that wouldn't have even been needed to decide the case is because they were afraid of implicating Black Lives Matter?
I'm not saying that's specifically what their only intent was, but I'm saying it had the convenient after effect of that. So if we looked at the definitions that they used this is exactly how this came about, right? I read this part, I'm skimming through this, I read the part of insurrection. I'm debating with Pisco on Twitter, right? I'm like, Jesus, if we look at the definition they used for insurrection, which was, quote, a rising against civil or political authority, the open and active opposition of a number of persons to the execution of law in a city or a state. It's like, shit, that's basically what all defund the police were. Every movement that said defund the police, based on this definition, it is a rising against civil or political authority, the open and active opposition to a number of persons to the execution of a law in a city or state. They're literally protesting the police. Clear cut. Almost by definition, the stated definition of Black Lives Matter would make it then an organization engaged in insurrections. Pisco then correctly says, but Rob, notice that that's not the definition that they end up using. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is the definition that we should use. It's from the 1860s. This is from right around contemporaneously the time that Section 3 of the 14th Amendment was created, so why wouldn't we use this? He goes, no. They just said, here are possible definitions, but they chose not to pick one specifically. So you saying that Black Lives Matter meets that definition, maybe, maybe not, but that's not the definition that the court used. So that's how I was like, okay, now I got to read exactly what this whole so this was months and months before the Supreme Court even weighed in that I read this entire Colorado decision, which is why I said, okay, I know exactly what they're talking about now. They're like, here's several definitions of insurrection, but we ain't going to choose one. We're not going to choose one, which then allows people that want to defend the double standard to say, well, they didn't choose one. They didn't specifically choose one. So you can't look at the one from 1860 and say, clearly this means that basically the entire organization of Black Lives Matter is an organization. Even though it meets that definition.
Wait, you could use that one though.
Okay.
Because they didn't tell you what to choose. So you could use that. If anything, this court case arguably leaves open even more BLM stuff to be challenged in the courts because they didn't give you a more narrow construction of what an insurrection would be that would exclude all of BLM. So what are you talking about? The fact that they say for the purposes of this case, we don't have to hone in on one, how does that protect BLM?
It protects BLM because the fact that if they would have used that specific case, and I'm not saying they did it intentionally, what I'm saying is may have factored in, but it certainly was exploited.
It didn't. You're wrong. That's not how any of this...
You know?
How do you
know? How do you know?
Because I know how courts work. What do you mean? Nothing in here prevents you.
Oh, so you know. So I just want to be clear. You know the intent of the members of the Colorado Supreme Court and why they chose to not take a specific definition. That's your argument.
I'm saying that the one that they've offered makes sense, so I'll take them at their word for it. The one that you're offering doesn't make sense. Yes, they did.
No, they didn't. They specifically said they're not offering an all-encompassing definition of the term
insurrection. I said the explanation for that. What was the explanation that they gave for that?
The explanation was that they thought that that this would have meant any definition of insurrection. And you're literally repeating. And again, so two things. One, you're just repeating what I said at the outset of it. And second, it gets to the broader point. As someone who's fucking researched this so heavily and talks about this case often as, oh, well, there was a case where they ruled this was insurrection. There was the New Mexico case and there was the Colorado case. You didn't even read the court decision, man. You didn't even read it.
I literally told you like 20 times that they use a three-pronged thing for their decision of insurrection in this case. How many times did you not?
So you did read it before. That's what you're saying.
A long time ago, yes.
Okay.
Or at the very least, an executive summary. I'm pretty sure I read the case, yes.
You read it before, but you were unaware that they specifically said we're not giving an actual definition of the term insurrection.
The way that you're phrasing this is not accurate. What did they say, Rob? Are you even capable of phrasing what they said?
Yes, I've done it like 5 times. Are you capable of
Phrase what they said. Phrase
right.
what they said.
There is a lot of varying definitions of the term insurrection, but we're not going to settle on one actual definition of insurrection because we think that whatever definition of insurrection we would use, January 6th meets it.
There you go. Correct.
Well, no, you want me to say... Now, this is very indicative of the style of debate that you do. It's why you want to have debates on the definition of insurrection. We haven't even got to the second part. We're just broaching it now. It's because what you want to do is just to try to get these little narrow-focused talking points that could then define what the debate becomes. So then you could walk away and say, oh, January 6th, by definition, we could say was an insurrection. Now, around and find out if you were those Trump supporters. Maybe Trump deserved to die, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, in the past, you've literally given the rationale for why you defend insurrections, saying that they're the other side of the coin of voting. This is, and it's the same thing here. If you think that, I guess if your audience isn't so bright, if you have me keep repeating the point that I initially made and told you what they said, that somehow that proves something, it proves nothing. I told you what they said. My entire point of bringing this up was we haven't had any court cases for over 100 years, even though there would have been obvious examples under your definition of the term insurrection. No court cases brought in the past 100 years. Then we have 3. If the definition of insurrection is so obvious based on the legal standard, why do we have 3 different definitions or attempts at definitions given in 3 separate court cases? If the definition's so obvious, they should all give the same definition, but they didn't. It's almost like something changed in the past 100 years. It's almost like they were like, we no longer view insurrection as the same way we did around the time of the Civil War, which is why no one brought up the term even suggesting Black Lives Matter, or suggesting things like the Vietnam War protest, or suggesting things like the attacks on ICE facilities, or any other number of things, even the Chaz zone. None of it was brought up. And you know why. Did I lose you? I did. He booted me? Wow.
That's what Mick Foley's pre does when he comes face to face with reality. He ducks and runs. Very typical move from a bitch-made simp. Now that he doesn't have to endure the nights of being cuckolded, he now spends all his free time living on the internet, sharing his freak-off tapes, and taking on all comers on the debate stage. What he should have done was disappear into the wind, but he couldn't help himself. He was just a glutton for punishment.
Okay, sorry. Gavin's mom needed me for a second.
See, another reason that you don't exist in real life is the way you talk. If we were in person, you would be choked out right now.
If we were in person, you'd probably be drunk off your ass and get arrested and thrown in the tank, okay?
I would be arrested for assaulting you.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
That's why you talk the way you talk, because you live online.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
People say that, and then I see them in real life, and they're just these demure little submissive boys, so I don't know. Maybe. Listen, if you see me, you beat the shit out of me, okay? Knock yourself out.
You let men you in the ass! You define submissive!
All just to ease the pain of having his jaw dislocated and his heart ripped out.
First of all,
my name is John, and I have a question for Steven. It's the really only question that should be asked at an event like this, and this is gonna seem like a troll, but it's not. I just can't believe that it's true, so correct me if it's not, that you sat in a room or a corner of a room very much like the one you're sitting in now and just watched many other men plow the ever-living out of your wife. Is that true?
All right, get it. All right, move her. We want to.
it's true.